When I was a kid growing up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, every summer my family would take my brother and I up north, which if you live in Milwaukee is any place with more trees than Milwaukee. So we would rent this little cottage on a lake. And one summer when I was about 6, I had gotten this green inflatable raft. And the top of the raft had a clear plastic viewing window, which allowed me to lie face down on the raft and paddle around the shallow end of the lake, scanning the sandy bottom a few feet below for interesting stones to put in my rock polisher. Yeah, that's right. Because I'm that guy, right? I think rock polisher is like Ojibwe for guy who won't get laid until he's 30. So one day, I'm paddling around, and I see something on the floor of the lake that is shiny, black, and perfectly round. And in a lake full of mostly irregularly shaped brown and gray objects, shiny, black, and perfectly round was a real find. So I slipped off the raft, and I bent down, and I tried to grab the thing, but it turned out to be very slippery. And so it kind of slipped through my hands. So after 2 or 3 more unsuccessful attempts, I reached down with both hands and kind of scooped the object up and then dumped it into the clear plastic viewing window of my green inflatable raft, which made a convenient depression for this kind of thing. I was really excited that I had managed to maneuver the object into the raft and mesmerized by what happened next. It sort of uncurled into this undulating cigar shape, and in my hierarchy of coolness, moving was even better than shiny black and perfectly round. So I was really proud of myself. So my dad was sitting on the balcony of the cottage, and I yelled, "Hey, Dad, look what I found." And he looked down at me and then looked at my mom and said, "Oh my God, Mark just found the biggest leech I've ever seen." And in that moment, the shiny miracle turned into the writhing Stygian horror that leeches truly are. I flipped the raft over and paddled back to shore, and in that moment, one of the big ideas that kind of controls the way that I see the world fell into place and became bedrock in my personality. That being, sometimes the shiny miracle you found turns out to be a blood-sucking parasite. So I had another such moment many years later. I had managed to land the lead role in my 8th grade Hebrew school play. Yeah, it was called Once in a Garden, and it was this kind of like groovy take on the first couple of books of Genesis. I had been cast as Adam, and my 8th grade girlfriend, the only girlfriend I had ever had, and the only one I would have for many years to come, had been cast opposite me as Eve. So there it was, Mark Stein and Lee Stein, starring as Adam and Eve, Once in a Garden, one night only, Siegel Hall, Beth Israel Synagogue. It felt like it had the touch of destiny upon it. So it's the night of the show, right? One night only, and Siegel Hall is packed to the rafters. And I'm backstage, and I have a problem in the form of a softball-sized bubble of gas, which has formed at the base of my lower intestine. Now, the closest bathroom was way on the other side of Siegel Hall, and there was no way I was going out there because I had already been sewn into my costume, which had been made by one of the stage moms, and it was this lime green singlet. Do you know what a singlet is? A singlet is kind of an integrated shorts and shirt. This particular one only had one shoulder strap, I guess in an effort to make me look sort of more primordial. I looked really like nothing more than a prepubescent stripper who was working like a Tarzan theme or maybe Jolly Green Giant. So going to the bathroom was out of the question. But the other problem I have is I'm sharing the backstage area with my 8th grade nemesis, Elon Churowski, who was playing, I kid you not, was playing what? was playing the snake, right. The whole thing was so friggin' biblical. So he's back there, and also the girl I really liked in 8th grade, Becky Edwards, was backstage, and I knew that if I let this fart out backstage, that smelt it, dealt it rules were just going to be thrown to the wind, no pun intended, and I would be subjected to a humiliating excoriation moments before my big night. So what to do, right? I thought maybe I would just try and hold the fart in and go out on stage, but even in 8th grade, I knew that farting loudly on stage during a show, there's not enough therapy in the world to recover from something like that. So I'm standing there on stage, and I'm kind of mentally going through my Rolodex of options when two things happened simultaneously. One, Elon Churowski walked behind me. And two, the fart slipped out silently with no help from me. And I brace for impact. Like, this is it. I'm about to be humiliated in front of everyone. And I hear from behind me, oh, who's got egg salad? I'm starving. Right? My 8th grade nemesis, Elon Churowski, had smelled my ass and liked it. I went out on stage. I had the most brilliant night of my performing career. And in that moment, the other big idea fell into place as bedrock in my personality, right? Sometimes the shiny miracle is a blood-sucking parasite. Sometimes the humiliating fart is an egg salad sandwich. It's all one. Make few assumptions, hope for the best. Thank you very much.